What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Erika Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Prosecutors in the southern city of Kaohsiung say at least 22 people were lured to Dubai with the promise of jobs that didn't exist and then abused. They've detained 2 people in connection with the case. As Louise Watt reports, it's the latest case of Taiwanese finding themselves trapped after responding to fake job postings.
This clip, provided by Taiwan prosecutors, shows a suspected human trafficker abusing a victim with a stun gun. The victim tries to avoid the shocks, but they continue. Kaohsiung prosecutors investigated and have arrested 2 suspects and called 22 victims as witnesses.
为求高薪受骗至杜拜，在当地从事大陆人士所开设之机房进行诈骗。
The investigation showed victims were lured by job ads on Facebook offering free lodging and flights to Dubai, as well as bonuses and earnings of more than $30,000 in half a year. But after they got to Dubai, their movements were controlled, and if they didn't perform well or tried to escape, they were punished.
动辄遭上铐拘禁、殴打、电击或虐待等不人道待遇。
Earlier this year, it was revealed that many Taiwanese who had gone to Cambodia after answering job postings ended up being forced to work for criminal gangs. After this latest case, officials are sounding warnings again, reminding people to be wary of high-paying jobs overseas that seem too good to be true. Chris Ma and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's courts are getting ready to switch over to a new system that will see ordinary people act as judges in certain trials. Taipei has just held its final mock selection process for these citizen judges to test the system. Jean Van Trieste has more.
In this Taipei courtroom, a prosecutor and a defense lawyer are asking 39 people where they stand on certain issues.
请问您是否认同无罪推定原则？
我想请问一下，无罪推定原则是指，没有证据显示他有罪，他就是无罪，是这样意思吗？
This is all part of a final practice run. From January 1st, Taiwan will adopt a jury-like system. At first for homicide cases, but later for cases where the accused faces at least 10 years in prison. Unlike jury systems elsewhere, Taiwan's will see 3 career judges sit in a panel alongside 6 carefully selected citizen judges.
诉讼当事人自己还是希望有一个公正无私的这个审判的这个过程，所以在借由这个询问程序去了解每个人心中的一些想法。
A guilty verdict will need 2/3 agreement, which must include at least 1 of the career judges, and a majority will need to agree on the sentence. Certain groups of people will be excluded from the selection process, such as police officers, but most Taiwan citizens over 23 can be called up at any time if they've lived in the same jurisdiction for 4 months. Courts across Taiwan have held more than 100 mock trials to test the new system out. Now the practice is over, the countdown to the new system begins. Kama Xu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Oysters are a staple of Taiwanese cuisine, but diners around the country may have to cut back as unusually hot weather has devastated this year's harvest. Stash Butler reports.
Oyster farmers in Tainan pick through the day's harvest. Just 2 years ago, the coastal lagoons here in southwestern Taiwan produced more than $12 million worth of oysters. But this year's harvest will fall far short of that mark. The intense summer heat has ravaged the crop.
天气安尼较冷冷，安尼较拄好。这个7、8月这种9的这阵你若伤过热这个别克的呢。
巨无霸大生蚝的大概养第2年就会到这样等级的大小，可是今年养第2年它还是大概是这样的等级而已。今年的产量像现在是盛产期啊，大概科农采收上来的那个产量大概在往年的1到2成。
Experts say climate change is to blame.
就是受到极端气候的影响啊，那渔民也有反映说，可能就是那个，因为他们养殖的环境的变化了，可能就是，海水的适合养殖牡蛎的条件有改变啊。
Taiwan's local oyster market is already suffering from competition with cheap imports from Vietnam. Signs this year of a ruined harvest will do little to ease farmers' woes. James Rayner and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
Jian Wenbing, the director of Taiwan's National Kaohsiung Center for the Arts, has just begun his second four-year term as the center's chief. The venue, known as Weiwuying, opened in 2018 under Jian's leadership, energizing the cultural environment of the southern port city of Kaohsiung. Our reporter James Chater spoke with Jian about the center and the qualities of Taiwan society it reflects.
This is the National Kaohsiung Center for the Arts, known in Taiwan as Weiwuying. Beneath its undulating canopy sits an opera house, a concert hall, a playhouse and a recital hall, making the 1.5 million square foot complex the world's largest art center under one roof. But for Jian Wenbing, the center's director, Weiwuying has a more everyday function for Taiwan's southern city of Kaohsiung.
它就是应该是一个客厅啊，还说这个就应该是高雄人的客厅。那你去一个人家的 living room， 你会做什么事情，就应该在这里发生。
Jian Wenbing has led the centre since it opened in 2018 and has just begun his second four-year term as director. Integrating art with public life has defined his leadership.
我们希望把那个 art 跟 life， 或是说 people and performer， 把它拉近。好，所以它在建筑上面，它已经有这种特性。其实就是鼓励大家来，就是艺术其实真的没有那么远。好，那这个就要讲到你说，就说魏武营它的整个的设计，包括为什么它是一个 vineyard style 的 concert hall， 它其实就是要让听众在里面 ，audience 在里面觉得跟舞台上面的距离是 close 的。
In a vineyard concert hall, seats surround the stage, diluting the distinction between artist and audience. It's a logic that underpins the entire space. Airy hallways beneath the centre are open 24 hours a day, and a huge outdoor theatre rises from surrounding green parks. It's architecture, Jian says, that embodies the spirit of a freer Taiwan, which completed its democratization in the 1990s after several decades of martial rule.
在21世纪尤其是政党轮替之后产生的这个东西，它就是完全不同的理念所生出来的。那在魏武营这一栋建筑，它真的是代表的就是自由跟平等跟民主开放的。
And Jian believes it's that democratic society that opens possibilities to blur the boundary between public and artist.
But I wonder what's the example since you started at Weiwuying that you're most proud of that demonstrates
the public
that kind of disintegration of that boundary.
就是我们的钢琴对，我觉得它已经变成是魏武营的心脏。
Weiwuying's piano is in one of the public hallways, open for anyone to play.
就像去年疫情很严重的时候，我们就是全部都停了嘛。那我们的钢琴当然也因为怕大家聚集，所以钢琴也收起来。所以后来他们说要重新开的时候，他们说那我们要做什么？我说钢琴要推出来。我说钢琴的声音，这一台钢琴的声音开始响起，才代表魏武营重新开。
And it's the potential for public engagement with art encapsulated by the piano that defines the work of Jian Wenbing and the center.
你只要有勇气做下去，那在那一个瞬间，他的生命就有了钢琴的声音了。那我觉得说，我们魏武营的意义就是，尤其是在这里，我们是应该努力的去创造很多类似这样子的机会。
Weiwuying's openness reflects the society it emerged from, but it's their effort to remind visitors of their own artistic potential that means the trip to Weiwuying continues long after you've left. Piper Yu, Maggie May, Patrick Chen and James Chater for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of two adorable baby tapirs at Nicaragua's National Zoo. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.